Target market research. So you've probably heard me talk a lot about target market research because everybody spends so much time on their offer and what they're going to do, what their problem is. And they completely forget that everything they're offering is really not, has nothing to do with them. It's about the other person. It's about the client, the potential client. So this is to highlight that and remind everybody and just kind of give a couple sparks to thought about the target market research idea, just in general, to be like, you need to do this. You need to get on this more than anything else. If you aren't making money, you need target market research. If you are making money and you want to make more, you need to know more about them, more about their problems, everything. So you have found your niche and you thought about all of your offer, but people aren't really signing up as much as you thought. You're frustrated and you thought everything was good, but now you're kind of not sure. You're like, should I change it? Should I pivot? And like, there's actually a different kind of offer inside of your offer. So in this lecture, I'm going to tell you about the way to find out what is next and have it work for you. And it's really not as hard as you think. So if you want to know how to figure out what your product is that you need to make or how you need to change that product to fit a need, you're going to want to listen up because this is what I'll be talking about all day today or for this presentation. Doesn't that sound interesting? So let's get into it. Imagine, I tried to find way more pictures of cats, but I ran out really quick. This is the second one. And I was like, all right, whatever. But imagine knowing everything that your audience thinks, everything. You know, their ins and outs, their bedtime routine, everything. What if you could read their minds? Wouldn't that change nearly every single thing about your offer, your product? How would that make everything different? To know everything that they are thinking. So your business can live and die with how well you know your audience. Your business is either growing because you understand your audience or it's failing because you don't. So it's actually probably killing you and killing your business in some way by not really understanding them. And if you're guessing, you're losing, or at least you're missing out on a lot of things. You might be missing your goals. You might be missing your actual pitching, all that stuff. Just causing a struggle with engagement or struggle sales, not really unsure how to get the next lead or how to get better leads or whatever. You're just guessing and losing. So you need to stop everything and just assess where are you at. And this can be just like anything else that you really want to fix. Stop moving, stop it, stop the intake. Just actually look at where you're at, be present, read Eckhart Tolle book, like for a second, like assess where you're at and be in the moment and then make the change. So why? Because you're missing out on your target, right? You're not actually hitting your goals as well. Maybe you're in the ballpark, but you can do better. This is not expert level if you're kind of not doing everything you want. So where you really want to hit, your content just isn't resonating with them. And you're like, oh, well, that is your fault for not paying attention to what content they want. So that is because you simply don't know your audience well enough. All right. So the market is telling you something all the time, but you're not listening. If they don't like your content, they're telling you they don't like their content. If it's not performing well, they're saying something by not consuming it and not sharing it. So you have to stop guessing. You actually have to collect the data. Seriously. I know it's dry. I know it's boring. And sometimes business is boring. Even though we try to make it fun, you have to go through some boredom to get to the fun. So you really just need that data. You want a clear vision of who they are. Get the real information to build their strategy on facts and not assumptions. So stop just aiming at that blurry mass and run your business and running your business like you're drunk driving. Then we also need to filter out all of those facts as well, because a lot of them aren't helpful. Just because you collected the data doesn't mean that's the whole entire picture. So how are we going to do that? Well, we have to ask the right questions. And this is the way to get a better view of the whole picture. It's asking the right questions that your market really is going to answer, right? So what is it that they really want? Number one, what has made them already buy? What are things and people they follow? What are the TV shows they consume? What are the entrepreneurs they consume? What do they actually care about, right? What kind of person? Are they a person who watches Hermosi videos, or are they a person who watches Grant Cardone stuff? Like, they're two different people. And if you're trying to say, pitch a I'll help you make money thing, and they're not a Grant Cardone person, but they're a Hermosi person, it's kind of a different message. Hermosi is very, well, he said insight is that the reason he has acquisition in LA or in Vegas instead of LA is because it's actually filed under as an entertainment business, not a business as a moneymaker. So that's an insight to why and how his model works and how he gets his market. So again, who they are and who they consume matters. So you have to ask the right question. So you don't have to guess what your market wants. They will tell you if you ask the right questions. You just have to really listen. So how do you do that? Well, getting real answers, you don't really need fancy tools. You can fire off some surveys and polls and, just general listening on socials and coming through comments and stuff like that on your own social pages, but also others as well. People doing the same thing that you want to do, people in the industry, and searching hashtags. However, and this is key, these are all very simple and they do give you insights, but they're not actually going to be as much bang for the buck, to be honest. The effort you do for those isn't going to do what you need it to do. You actually have to have real conversations, because nothing compares to this one powerful thing, which is conversations, actually talking to your customers. So you can do your cute surveys, social listening, and polls, and asking your audience if this actually helps. And you will get some responses. But if you don't actually talk to them face to face or on the phone, whatever, you don't get the whole story. So you can DM them and say, oh, hey, what's your biggest problem with making $10,000 a month, whatever, or how to fix your offer, whatever. And they'll be like, oh, this. Well, when you talk to them, it's completely different. They open up more. They're vulnerable. They'll tell you every single thing. They'll tell you what they ate for breakfast. But in a DM, it's just not going to happen. I've done this over and over again. I am not just researching this and finding shit online. I've done this many times. I must have done 50 target market research calls in the past year, and it's unbelievably insightful. So this is key. So you want to talk to them. You want to talk to them so much further than any poll or DM can. And it doesn't take long. It can be 10-minute calls. Honestly, that's all I did. So here's an insight that I've talked about before with masculinity stuff. So I was offering things like personal development, mental health, fitness, things that I don't even remember what I offered, just beard stuff, whatever. And then after a few conversations, they started telling me about the real problem that they had and the pain that they would pay to get rid of. And it was porn. And I was blown away. I had no idea. I was like, holy shit. Now, it's still a problem and I don't know how to solve it. I didn't try because I knew that they're not going to talk about porn or join a community talking about their porn problem and post about it everywhere. It's just not going to happen. It's a very private thing. Probably a passive course that I didn't really want to deal with or talk about. However, I did realize that they were not my target market. And that's when I pivoted. I was like, oh, I don't want to help them. So when I did find out who I really wanted to talk to, they were outside of my circle. So I offered them a $5 gift card to get them on the phone. It's like, listen, I think you're a perfect client. I would love, or a perfect person that I would love to work with or have as a client. And I promise you, this is not a sales call. I just want to ask you a couple of questions, 10 minutes max. In return, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. How does that sound? And People are pretty nice. You'd be shocked how many people are like, yeah, okay, cool. And then hop on a quick call. So that is the way that I got people that are generally outside of my circle. Now I'm going to enter in the link to my script here in the thing there. If you're interested in, it should be open. But once you do get that insight, this is when you start to say, okay, here's my data. How can I look at it? How can I look at everybody else? What do they do now? Yeah, we need access. All right, I'll give it to you guys after. I'll make it unlock. It's the same problem all the time. So the thing is, it's like Apple. They don't have to do it first. They just do it better. So at this point, if you really want just a pretty good, reliable way to make money, don't reinvent the wheel. Just kind of do it a little bit better, polish it up, see what's working, stand on the shoulder of giants. Your competitors are reaching the same audience. And if you look at it as there's plenty of money and plenty of people that resonate selling, like I could sell, I could be selling the same thing as one of you, but people resonate with me or you better, and that's fine. So there's plenty of people, and marketing is the way to reach. You have to think of how many people there are in the world, how much money there is. It's fine. But again, it's about them. So learning from successes and mistakes, you don't have to be worried about being a thief or unoriginal. I know my creative side hates that, but being unoriginal is okay because it's just like being good at something. You don't need to have to you don't need to know how to build a computer to use one. You just use it as a tool. For somebody else's work is just a tool for you to get that driver, to get it going. You don't need to have built everything from scratch, right? So, I mean, all those Hot Pockets you buy at the grocery stores, you didn't make those from scratch. It's fine. So once you're successful at looking at this idea of what you're doing, looking at other people's things is not a theft. You change it, you try to make it your own. Like I'm very much about being authentic and original, but you don't have to be you have to be the original creator, I guess. You just have to, I just recommend doing it better, but I'm on a tangent here. So, once you're successful at that thing, that's when you start taking the risk and then reinventing the wheel and doing things that are a little weird, but there's so many moving parts that it'd be good to get them all in a row before you start screwing with them all. So you make something just like everybody else and you're thinking, well, nobody's buying it. What the heck? This is exactly what they're selling. And that just sucks. I've done it a lot of times, but you have to remember, and this is why you do want to do this, is look at somebody who's proven that they're selling something that does sell. And you can use that as going, okay, it's not the product. It's the advertising. It's the marketing. It rules out one of the links in the chain. So okay, it is not this thing. It's my fault. It's my social media stuff. It is, maybe I'm not targeting the right person or making the content for that person that's correct. We now ruled out what you're offering and what you're selling as not part of it. And it's really crucial. So the key here, and this has happened to me twice, and it was a horrible experience. So I really hope that you listen carefully and not have it happen to you. But if one day, tomorrow, you wake up and 3 million people saw everything that you offer, like everybody looked, Hermosi's like, go check out this page, this offer, you'd probably shit your pants because it's probably not all that tight. So that's happened to me twice. Millions of people were sent my way by some friends and it was not there. I lost every possibility of everything with that branding, sales, everything. Terrible. Because I was too busy trying to create something new and get everything perfect and, figure it out instead of just going, I just need something here. I need it to be done. I need to have step 1 before I'm trying step 5. And I thought, as a creative, I'm good, I'm better, I can do it like some magnificent, amazing thing. Everything's aligned. I don't use Google Docs. I make my own special website. No, just get something in place so that people can go from the beginning to buying. And if it's there and your funnel's there, everything's there, you should be good. So learn from that lesson, because you think about your thing. You don't need a lot. You just need it to work. Imagine 10 million or 3 million people came to your page. What would you change? It's a pretty clear wake up call. And the way that you should go about it is keeping it very simple. And the way that you would figure out exactly what should work and what you should do is talk to the people. It's that simple. I don't know what my page isn't there. I don't have the copy. I don't have the offer. I don't have a course. You probably don't need anything if the person is like, oh, I just want somebody to hold my hand. You go, okay, cool. I'm going to offer high ticket coaching and I will spend time with you, and we'll make some templates together, or we'll make a custom game plan for you, whatever. But there's your offer. Now it's really done with you. And that's super high ticket, because access to you is the highest form of I guess you could say, a product, a service. So that is the target market speech presentation. Thank you very much.